Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hidden Superpowers with Ashley Lee. I'm so excited to be here with you today and are navigating our inner hearing. Now, what does that mean? Navigating our inner hearing, right? Many of us call inner hearing clairsentience, clairaudience, right? And in that clairaudience, we have clairsentience because we have an inner knowing of what we heard. I'd like to reframe some of this today and share with you this opportunity of what if it's just higher hearing, expanded hearing? What if it's a superpower that all of us have, right? Some of us are more sensitive to hearing different energies in life that we're going to talk about today that I'm so excited to share with you. So let's move through this. Higher hearing is focused, neutral, creating an accessibility to auditory awareness. What does all that mean? Oops. We focused too fast, didn't we? So what does it mean to focus related to auditory awareness? Well, where is our auditory awareness? Is it open? Is it shut down? Are we focused over here when somebody's trying to talk to us over here? Right? So where is our focus to our auditory awareness? And as we'll see, auditory awareness goes far beyond the ears, right? So when we focus, then we come to a state of neutrality. What does a state of neutrality mean? Well, most of us speak in the ideas of neutrality, that is to maybe close the eyes, maybe focus the hearing, right? Close down or, soften the smelling, the tasting, the seeing, the knowing, and just being really super focused, hyper focused on our hearing. Going to neutral, and the idea is that when we're neutral to hearing, that is, we're not attached to the outcome. Just because we see A plus B equals C, or 1 plus 2 equals 3, what if our hearing doesn't have to be logical, linear, or time constrained? Or what if it isn't even unifocal? What if it's multifocal? So let's talk about that. So when we get neutral, what it is, we're open to understanding about what hearing we're experiencing. Instead of trying to summate, assume, or presume, we know what's going to be said, right? So what are we talking about? The accessibility of auditory awareness. Well, we access our hearing to other ways. Like, for example, this young woman is hearing the tree talk, right? And many of the indigenous people of America and other lands talk about the tree is the standing people, right? And then this idea is trees have a way of communicating with each other. How do they communicate? They communicate through their leaves. They communicate through their fruit. They also communicate through their roots, interconnected with one another, right? So that's why a lot of times in meditation, we'll connect to tree energy, rooting ourselves, standing strong in our awareness, standing strong in our auditory awareness. So take a moment today, get outside for just a moment, hug a tree, listen to the tree, see what the tree's saying. Is the tree thirsty? Would the tree like cleaner air? Is the tree loving, providing oxygen to our planet? What is that tree thinking and feeling and sensing? And how do we become one with the tree and listen to its wisdom? There's lots of ways that we can access auditory awareness. Let's talk for a moment about developing our higher hearing or our clairaudience. What does that mean? How does one develop their hearing? Well, we start by mastering our clairsentient or our higher hearing superpower. And how do we master it? Well, we first recognize that what if we thought logically and linearly that trees can't talk to us? That would be the impossible, wouldn't it? What if we would think it's impossible to talk to our loved ones who have passed on? What if we thought it was impossible to talk to God and or any other angels, guides, or way showers in our lives? But what if it's not impossible? What if it's possible? So when we open to the possibility, we begin to master our higher hearing. One way of mastering our higher hearing is really creating a discernment for what it is we'd like to hear. What if for right now, while I'm filming in a room in shelter, not in a studio, and I'm in a room in a house, and I'm near a boulevard that makes a lot of car noise that's going by that you may or may not be able to articulate in your hearing in this video as a loud truck goes by, which is pretty cute. What if we can have discerning hearing where I can hear you all? I can hear your inner thoughts. I can hear your inner feelings. I can hear what you're experiencing because I care to listen so that this opportunity, this TV show has value to you, gives you value, helps you feel like, wow, I really can hear within my higher hearing, and I can master it, not control it, not command it, not demand it. Like lots of us when we're little, right? Like the little kid on the first slide, right? He's listening to his inner guidance. Sometimes we go, God, I can't hear you. Can you speak louder, right? So how can we discern for greater hearing? Well, we're going to talk about that. So when we master our higher hearing, right, we start to hear the world of the unseen. I call the ethereal world, or the world where God lives, the world where angels live, the world where our friends and family and other people have transitioned out of their body, right? I think part of the ethereal world too is the natural world. What does the sun have to say? The clouds have to say, the atmosphere, the earth, the cosmos. It all carries sentience, which is knowledge, omniscience. And we all have the ability to access that. And when we access higher knowledge, our answers come forward when we're in neutral about how we're hearing it. And the more neutral we go, the clearer the hearing is. Let's talk about some types of higher hearing. What does that mean? When we open to the possibility of hearing in any range available, so much comes through. So I was thinking of putting up a slide here to show you the audible human range of hearing inside of hertz in this frequency that's on this slide. And most humans hear from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. And so there's a wide range of frequencies that we hear. But what if we hear beyond that wide range? What if we hear with our mind? So, right, our ears, our ear canal, and the physiological structures of the ear that change frequency and sound waves into what it is we can process and understand and turn into languaging, turn into understanding, thoughts, values, beliefs, even derive emotions from these, accessing this auditory information. So we can access it through our ears into our mind. That's one way that we make any range of hearing available. Another range of hearing availability that we can have is hearing through our heart. So what if we can hear not just our heartbeat or our blood pressure or physiological responses in our heart, but what if we can hear our heart sing? And what is that? That is love coming through every cell of our body. every opportunity of thinking and emoting and a spiritual connection. What if our heart connects all that is and we filter that listening through our heart? What does your heart tell you? What does the world's heart tell you? What does the other person's heart tell you? Share with you, speak to you. How do you hear that heart listen? Even if they have nasty words or uncomfortable words that come out of their mouths or out of their mind, right? That we hear telepathically, right? What if we can hear beyond even their emotions, even if the emotions are negative? What if we could hear what their real heart is singing to us? The other level is, and I use this shell because it's pretty fascinating, right? As we hear the ocean through the shell, how is that possible, right? It carries ocean sounds, even when you remove the shell from the ocean, right? So that's hearing our soul speak, hearing our inner guidance speak, hearing the ocean speak, the waves speak, the water speaks. Opening to all of that helps us navigate our environment so much easier, so much with ease and flow and grace. We automatically experience a level of patience and peace when we hear all the things around us and learned how to focus it so that it's not overwhelming and yet it's healthy and helpful and guiding. How do we talk about accessing this higher hearing? Well, let's share. I like to experience it as, what are the energies of life wanting to share with me? What are they wanting to say to me? And am I open to listening to those energies of life? I'd say sometimes I'm not, right? When I'm driven or I have a deadline or a goal or something that I have to do or I feel like I need to do. What if I let go of that? I need to be needed. I need to be loved. I need to be wanted. And I open to, I hear you. I understand you. And I choose to share life with you, right? That's us accessing the energies of life. In this depiction, what are the birds singing? They might be singing, it's pretty cool for my feet in the snow. Or they might be saying, hey, even though it's snowing out, enjoy your time here out with us. What are those birds as they chirp and as they have bird song into our ear, which sounds melodic and nice most of the time? Sometimes they're squawking, right? Are they squawking because they're hurt? Are they squawking because they want a mate or they want food? I don't know. So I listen sometimes to discern what it is they're saying or wanting to share. Sometimes they're wanting to share wisdom, understanding about the world they experience. And what if we can, heart to heart, bird to human, share our love for them, how beautiful they are, and the song they make in the world. Those are opportunities to access higher hearing that we didn't know we could hear. What if we could access the higher hearing of our loved ones that passed on, that moved out of their body, and yet their spirit is still very much alive and vibrant in our lives and in their experiences outside of their body? What if we can access that higher hearing? I do it all the time. I used to do it when I was young and didn't like it so much because it was kind of scary, so to speak. What if it doesn't have to be scary? What if it can be super amazingly lovingly? And I can say to myself, I can say, Mom, Dad, who's passed on in my life, what would you like to share with me in the moment? I open to hearing your heart sing, your higher heart, your spiritual heart, sing and share with me in the moment what you want to share. Right? And then we just pause. We go to neutral about what it is they're wanting to share. And we just purely listen for the moments of listening. We let go of any expectation. Many times people share, I can't hear them. I can't hear them. That's because we're listening for an answer. Instead, take a moment to open to saying, anything you have to share, I'm open to hearing. And that might start the conversation that they didn't know they could even maybe talk to you, and that you could hear them, and you could develop that relationship even after someone has transitioned. I support everyone in trying this process, in talking with and hearing your loved ones. Let's talk about the energies of life that are the sun, the clouds, the sky, God, Allah, Buddha, Christ, angels, any entities, energies that you find peace with, solace with, developing that relationship, same kind of way. I open, God, to what it is you'd like to share with me today. I open, angels, to sharing with me how I can set a beautiful intention inside prayer. And I can take that moment going neutral to what it is you have to share, and take a contemplative moment of introspection, also known as meditation. I can take that in, breathe that in, and hear what guidance you'd like to share with me in the moment. Because I recognize in this state of oneness that we're really not separate from the angels, from our loved ones, and from God and all that we believe in. That's how we can access that higher hearing, that inner guidance, that inner navigation system. It really does bring us peace, happiness, joy, solace, and this very deep sense of compassion that would be absent of any judgment. Let's talk about judgments for just a moment. Let's talk about judging what we hear. Judging the negativity of what we hear, that's usually what we do. We very rarely judge happy things, right? We could, and we could say, this is really happy, yay. And it's kind of a discernment. It's not really a judgment like that's wrong or bad, right? We usually judge things that are negative. When we judge things that are negative, we amplify, literally, that destruction. We really do. Let's talk for a minute about what that means. So, for example, either telepathically or empathically or orally, I don't want to hear what that person has to say. What does that do? He gets boundaries, right? Sometimes boundaries are helpful in a way when somebody's saying something really ugly or bad or unhelpful. But what if we could put our hands down, maybe give a sour face, and say, I'm sorry, what you have to share is really not okay with me. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to shut down my listening to you because it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand it, or it's very denigrating to you, to me, and to our relationship, our situation. What if we can start sharing that to each other instead of doing this, either energetically or purposefully like that? What if we can say, I sense the hearing, the speaking has shut down in our conversation. Could we straighten it up, clear it up, go to neutral, and start again? Right? I kind of resembled this posturing when I was little about talking to ghosts. I was like, no, 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 not my job. I don't want to hear you. So what did I do when I grew up? And I was reigniting my superpower of higher hearing or clairaudience. I remembered I did that. And it's very powerful. Our decisions, our discernments, our intentions are very powerful. And when they're very powerful, we don't know we did them when we were little. And what we want, maybe one want to do is open that up again with discernment and mastery and understanding so that we can hear what we would like to discern. Remember, discern, we can discern what to hear. So when we put our hands over our ears, either etherically or literally, what happens is we shut down the hearing and we create destruction inside the relating. Sometimes we can shut down the hearing like this, where I don't want to hear the whole crowd. I don't want to hear the whole world. I don't want to hear humanity's insurrection in this time in 2020. I don't want to hear the pain and suffering that humanity experiences. I want to shut it out. I want to shut it down. What is an insurrection? An insurrection is a violent uprising. So in this picture, right, we just put a cup right over all of everybody having discord, conflicts, problems, protests, irritations, powerless, helplessness. What if we take the cup off and we say, I open to your hearing and I'm here to support. I'm here to participate in conflict resolving that which lives in myself. And when I start to resolve what's inside myself, my heart clears, my mind clears, my voice clears, my whole being clears. And when that occurs, others around me start to feel and sense and know that awareness and start to shift within themselves also. We become greater circles of influence when we clear that which we don't want to hear. And so in our journey, when we're heading too close to shore and we may run aground, get stuck, can't sail or navigate in our lives anymore, what if we take a tack and tack over to opportunities of opening our hearing, even when some of the speaking is negative? We do this course correction, we do this tacking in life called the conflict resolution process. By recognizing we can acknowledge the conflict, we can release our judgments and the judgments of others so that it clears the energy, the negative static energy between us. We forgive that we had judgments in the first place. We proclaim sovereignty by recognizing that I am complete with this conflict. I am no compete. I have no more judgments about this. I'm going to support you in having interpersonal responsibility to adjust the way you're thinking, adjust the way you're relating, so that the relating with yourself, me, and all others, and your life circumstances has the opportunity to dramatically improve. I shine my truth, and I see the truth in you, that you are love even when you're being negative. Isn't that great? Let's talk for a moment about setting the listening, right? That's an important part of higher hearing. If we can't set the listening, hearing articulately, saliently, clearly, with less confusion is optimized by us, the listener, setting our own listening. Opting into hearing the speaker enriches the conversation. Whether that conversation was with yourself and the different parts of you, your emotional self, your ego self, your higher self, your everyday self, all of it. It'll enrich your own conversation with yourself. Then it will enrich the conversation with others and with higher consciousness. So when we start with the idea that everybody's blah, 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 talking to us, and they're not saying anything important or valuable to my listening, I'll shut it out. What if, through conflict resolution, we could say something like to the person, I'm hearing you, or I'm listening, and I'm having a hard time landing that listening. I'm not really sure what you want to talk about. Can you restate your position? Can you restate it so that I can hear more clearly? I'm coming from this position. I sense you're coming from that position. Can we both be in this position so we can understand each other? Will you reframe what you're saying? That helps. We can do it. I know we can do it with each other and help each other set the listening and the speaking. And here it is. What is setting the listening and the speaking? I want to just share for just a moment. I really do sense and believe in my heart that it is the speaker's responsibility to set the listening. It really is. If we have something to say or share with another person, let's meet that other person, the listener, where they're at. Sometimes we may speak to a large group of people. We may not know how to set the listening from the speaking. So when you come to listen to a speaker speak, come open, come focused, come prepared. Have an opportunity. Also, if you're not understanding from the listening that you're having, ask questions. Share out loud. Share with your heart, with your mind, with your voice, with texting, emailing, whatever way. Share the questions to the speaker so that they have an opportunity to be more clear with you, because most speakers want to land the listening. They really do. Otherwise, they wouldn't speak. There wouldn't be a reason. Most people don't go blah, 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 because it doesn't mean anything to anyone, right? So in the listening section of our world, where we're opening to higher hearing, opt in, optimize that listening. And if your listening is so different or discordant or conflictual with the person speaking, then conflict resolve first inside of you. Then speak out loud and say, will you share that again in another way? I'm really struggling to connect to what you're saying. And I really care about what you have to say. I can tell you the speaker will be happy to share in a different way. Try it out. It's really wonderful. Now, when we do that, we opt in, and the speaker is speaking clearly and the listener is hearing clearly. What happens is the conversation, the experience, and the relationship bloom, blossom, and grow into these potentials we never knew were possible before. That's the power of us communicating in all these ways with our superpowers. When we do that, our relationships with ourselves, with each other, and with higher energies, so to speak, right? God and angels and everything else we believe in, right? Those relationships enrich hugely. They grow, they develop, they mature, and it's exciting to have those experiences in life. Let's talk for a moment about your hidden superpowers. We are here to help you. In this series, this 12-week series, we're in session number 7. We've got 5 more to go. It's so exciting. And in that process, we have 4 more to go. It seems like we could go on forever with discovering your hidden superpowers. So watch these shows on Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Pacific. And then we have a remote energy healing transmission program to connect you through meditation, through an intended experience, an introspective experience, to discover your hidden superpowers. That is Wednesdays. And you can enroll at accessinfinite-knowledge.com. I have even a greater thing for experiencing your superpowers. We have this special offer for everyone watching this TV show. Receive 33% off our 12-week transmission programs. every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. That's time zone indifferent. It's your time zone, anywhere around the world. You can tune in to your energy healing package, about 12 weeks of accessing your hidden superpowers. The coupon code inside of that, when you go to accessinfinite-knowledge.com, it's awake, all caps, 33. We're so excited to see you online here on awaketvnetwork.com and awaketvnetwork.live, to see me live here or pre-recorded on your hidden superpowers. And then on Wednesday night, dive in deep for introspective 30-minute time that's dedicated to you in developing and mastering your superpowers. I am so excited you joined us today. I enjoy hearing the love you all experience in your lives, hearing more deeply, experiencing the world with love and peace. Thank you for joining me.